In the city of Phoenix, Arizona, a woman named Connie, who was an athlete and a champion in race walking, never managed to become famous or wealthy through this sport. She then takes some coupons from an elderly lady. Connie lives with her husband, Rick, who works as an IRS auditor, but they have a somewhat troubled relationship, and Rick is always complaining about the things Connie buys. On top of that, they can't have children. They are also dealing with a lot of debt that they accumulated from paying for treatments. When Connie got pregnant, she ended up losing the baby. So Rick accepted another position at work that will keep him away from home for 3 weeks each month. Rick treats Connie with disdain because she is unemployed and racked up debt from the treatments she underwent to try to have a child. Additionally, he mentions that she also spends money on coupons. Connie has a habit of collecting coupons and then buying a lot of groceries to get a discount, storing all of these groceries in the baby's room so she doesn't have to be reminded that she lost a child. Connie has a friend named JoJo who runs a YouTube channel where she gives money-saving tips related to couponing. She still lives with her mother, Josie, who doesn't believe in her daughter's venture, and JoJo also can't find a job because her identity was stolen. When JoJo isn't making videos for her channel, she tries to sell makeup door to door, but that business isn't going well either. Whenever Connie goes grocery shopping, she uses multiple coupons to get discounts and manages to save a lot of money. That afternoon, while Connie is putting away the groceries, she feels sad when she sees the baby's wallpaper. Feeling anxious, she decides to eat some cereal, but she realizes the cereal is expired. She then sends an email to the company, complaining about the expiration date. Days later, Connie receives a coupon for free cereal, with the company apologizing for what happened. When Connie goes to the supermarket to use the coupon, the cashier explains that she's not special, and that companies always send free coupons when someone complains. Connie then gets the idea to send multiple letters to various companies, even though she hasn't bought their products. As a result, Connie manages to get a large number of coupons for free items. When Connie shows JoJo, she is impressed by the idea. Upon hearing that JoJo would buy a coupon because it's cheaper, Connie realizes that if she could sell a coupon that she didn't invest anything in, she would keep 100% of the profit, making it a great business opportunity. When they research online, they discover that coupons are manufactured in Mexico, and then Connie gets the idea for them to go there and get a large number of coupons to resell. They then get into JoJo's car and head towards Mexico. Meanwhile, in the state of Nevada, a guy named Ken, who works in loss prevention, notices that a cashier is having trouble with a coupon. Ken checks it and quickly realizes it's a fake coupon. The manager asks if he can accept it since the lady is a good customer, but Ken says no, as rules must be followed. The elderly woman gets upset with him. Later, when Ken is on a plane, a woman asks him to switch seats so her daughter can sit by the window, but he refuses, saying that her daughter needs to learn how to handle hearing no in life. The next day, Connie and JoJo arrive at the coupon factory in Mexico. They observe some of the workers, and while watching, they notice 2 employees breaking the rules. They decide to approach Alejandro and Rosa, a couple. However, when they get close, Alejandro thinks they are trying to rob them. After Connie and JoJo explain that they have good intentions, they all go to Alejandro and Rosa's house. There, they discover that Rosa is pregnant, and the couple earns very little, with their money falling short of being able to buy diapers for the baby. Connie and JoJo then propose that they steal coupons so they can resell them, saying that they will share a good portion of the profits with Alejandro and Rosa. They explain that the plan will be easy to execute because at the factory where Alejandro works, there is a printing section and a redemption section. They mention that for every coupon printed, there is always an extra one that needs to be discarded. However, Alejandro will send those coupons to Connie and JoJo, and this won't cause any issues during transport since the inspectors at the border will only see a box full of coupons, which is perfectly legal. Connie and JoJo receive their first box filled with coupons, and they quickly create a website to promote and sell the coupons, as well as feature them on JoJo's channel. Their business starts to take off, and they begin making a substantial amount of money. Then, the supermarkets begin to notice that they are incurring losses, and Ken also receives numerous calls from managers complaining about the losses due to the coupons. He decides to investigate and eventually finds a credit card number that leads him to the address of a woman who used one of the coupons. He also discovers the name of the website where the coupons are being sold. Upon returning to his office, Ken visits the website that sells the coupons. Meanwhile, Connie and Jojo panic when they discover that their bank account has been frozen due to the large amount of money they've made in a short time and for suspicious activities. To have their account unlocked, they need to prove that they are engaging in legal activities. Since they don't know how to do that, they call a hacker from the dark web named Tina, who specializes in cybersecurity. Tina points out to them that they are promoting their business in the wrong way. She explains that Connie and Jojo need to launder the money, which means they will have to set up fake bank accounts and identities, as well as acquire another house to manage the business. They will need to wait 6 months before they can spend the money. Tina gives them a special USB drive to store important files and requests 10% of all the money that Connie and Jojo make. Continuing his investigation, Ken goes to the FBI to have them look into the case. However, since this case isn't deemed highly relevant, they pass it off to a guy named Albert. Meanwhile, Connie and Jojo use Jojo's makeup brand as a front along with their fake identities, and finally, their business starts to thrive again. Over the course of a few months, they manage to earn millions of dollars. Ken is focused and starts sending messages to the FBI every day no matter where he is. As soon as the 6 months pass, Connie and Jojo prepare to spend the money. They remember what Tina said about needing to make the money clean, so Connie suggests they buy very expensive items to resell later, ensuring that the money they earn from selling will be considered clean. Connie dresses elegantly and goes to several banks with fake identities to convince them to give her money. After Connie manages to get the money, she goes on a spree with Jojo, and they buy all kinds of luxurious cars, boats, and even a private jet. Additionally, they visit a fair where weapons used by John Wick are being sold. Days later, they fly to Las Vegas on their private jet, and while they are at a restaurant eating sushi, they discuss their plans for the future. After some time, Ken receives a call from the FBI, and Albert reveals that he can't do anything because someone has deleted all the traces. However, he mentions that since the coupons are being sent by mail, he will send someone to help. Ken meets Simon, a postal inspector, and asks Ken to buy some coupons from the website so they can gain access to the system. A few days later, when they receive the envelope, Simon notices that the envelope states it comes from Kansas, but it is actually coming from Arizona. Simon wants to travel there and informs Ken that he will take him along because Ken has knowledge of all the supermarkets in the area. Meanwhile, Connie schedules an appointment and goes to the fertility clinic with Jojo. After the doctor tells her that she has a few chances, Connie is determined to use the sperm from another donor instead of Rick's, believing that the issue lies with him. That night, Tina wants to know what they did with all the money, and she gets angry when she learns that they bought many luxury items and also made a mistake by using the name of Jojo's cosmetics brand. Now, they will have to sell all the luxury items they purchased to put the money back into the banks. However, that money must be deposited in small amounts. When Tina discovers that they also bought weapons, she asks where they plan to sell them, and Connie immediately responds that she will find a solution. After Rick returns from one of his work trips, he notices that there is a new TV at home that Connie bought. When he asks her why she made the purchase, Connie replies that she is now working as a salesperson and that she won't need to rely on coupons anymore. This surprises him, and he comments that in addition to getting a new TV, he also gained a new wife. This leads Connie to decide to pursue a new fertility treatment. Meanwhile, in the investigation, Ken and Simon interrogate some cashiers at one of the supermarkets, asking why customers use so many coupons. When they question another cashier, they find out that they need to. The guy doesn't know Connie's name but provides a description of her appearance and mentions one of the slogans she uses on the website. Ken excitedly celebrates, recalling that he saw this on the site, and things start to connect. The next morning, Ken and Simon go to a post office to see if the employees know a blonde woman who is selling coupons. They then meet Earl, who is always on YouTube watching videos about coupons. Meanwhile, Connie and Jojo are struggling to sell the items they bought, so they decide to go to a cafe to think about what to do next. However, when they arrive, they encounter two men who are part of a shooting club, and they manage to get the address. That same day, they decide to go there with their weapons. Even though Jojo gives a good presentation about the weapons, the man is not interested in buying because he doesn't believe what they are saying. However, after much persistence, they reach an agreement, and he decides to buy all the guns. Meanwhile, Ken and Simon are interrogating Earl, and during the interrogation, Ken gets irritated because Earl refuses to talk. He eventually calms down, but they still can't get any information from Earl. After that, Earl goes to Jojo's house and hands an envelope to Josie, asking her to deliver it to Jojo. However, Earl didn't realize that Simon and Ken were following him and would keep an eye on Jojo's house for as long as necessary. As night falls, Jojo arrives home, and they discover that she is the black woman responsible for making videos for YouTube. Suddenly, Jojo gets out of the car and starts dancing excitedly because she managed to sell the weapons. They watch this strange scene, and now they know who one of the people involved in the coupon sales is, so they decide to wait inside the car. The next morning, after Jojo has an argument with her mother, she decides to go to the house that she and Connie are using as a hideout. But Simon and Ken follow her, and soon they see Connie entering the house, confirming that she is the blonde woman associated with the coupons. Later, Simon gathers his team to initiate an operation because now that he has much more information, it will be easier for them to uncover the identities of the two women. That night, Jojo is unable to sleep, and after checking on Josie, she goes to the kitchen to grab something to eat. There, she finds Earl's letter telling her to leave the city. However, there's no more time as Simon and his team invade Connie's house and arrest her, then take Jojo and Josie as well. Simon's team invades the house they were using as a hideout, and the faces of both women appear on the news, revealing that they have been arrested. This leaves Earl surprised to see this unfortunate news. Rick and Josie are called in for questioning, and they insist that they are not involved in the women's activities. When Jojo is interrogated, she tries to pretend that she is innocent. But it's no use as they show her videos on a laptop of her promoting the coupons. When Connie is interrogated, she admits to the entire illegal scheme and becomes frightened when she hears that she could face 40 years in prison. They tell her that if she cooperates and takes responsibility, they will go easier on Jojo. Since Connie loves her friend, she accepts the deal. After a few days, Jojo is released because Earl managed to pay her bail and hands her a bouquet of flowers. Unlike Earl, Rick visits Connie to confront her and reveals that he will not pay her bail. In light of this, Connie then asks for a divorce. Even with both women incarcerated, the investigation continues, and they manage to track down Alejandro and Rosa, but the two are no longer at that house. Days later, Connie hires a lawyer, and during the trial, he convinces the jury that Jojo and Connie simply took advantage of an opportunity, just like companies do with their customers. This strategy works, and the judge informs Jojo that she will only serve 10 days in jail and 1 year on probation. Connie will receive an 11-month prison sentence, with the possibility of parole as well. This leaves Simon and Ken irritated, as the two caused the supermarkets to lose a significant amount of money. Once the case is closed, Simon tells Ken that it was nice working with him but that he needs to improve his behavior towards others. This advice resonates with Ken, as he starts to be kinder to people in the following days. Finally, Connie's treatment is successful, and she manages to become pregnant. The authorities manage to seize a significant portion of the profit that Connie and Jojo made, but there is still a substantial amount hidden in boxes in the baby's room, which they didn't suspect might contain money. Jojo then manages to retrieve the boxes, knowing that Connie had been hiding part of the profits. After some time, Jojo and Earl move to Montenegro to start a new scheme, hoping that Connie will be released from prison soon so they can work together again. Subscribe to the channel and also watch one of the videos appearing on your screen. I'll see you in the next video.